Hi. Pepper is helping out with this intro. She's probably doing it in a way cuter way than I ever. Oh. She sees herself in the viewfinder. Miss, will you sit down? Oh my goodness. You're silly. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Hi. So today I'm gonna do a little bit of a reading vlog. I have my Monster Romance Reading Challenge book that I wanted to read for January, which is Whispers of the Deep. And I do read that whole thing in this vlog and give kind of my thoughts, my whole progress throughout the book, and yeah, just kind of have a little bit of fun and get excited for a year-long monster romance adventure. So yeah, I'll put the link in the description for more information on the Spicy Cats Loteria game, which is like a monster romance reading challenge with a new card draw every month and a new prompt of monster romances to read every month. So I'll put that stuff in the description, but yeah, that's going to be kind of the vibe of the vlog. I did start reading a couple other books in this vlog, but I didn't finish them because I did not want this vlog to be super long. But I do give a little bit of my thoughts on the books I start to read around the end. And interspersed through the vlog, I did a lot of reading journal updates, which was super fun. I was able to go to a bookstore, and I have like a bit of a haul of all of the books that I have gotten kind of over the holiday season. So that's all fun, and I'm excited to share all of that with you. So yeah, without further ado, I was hoping to lead off into the vlog with this intro, but before we get started, I actually decided just now that I wanted to show you all of the stickers. This is a sticker haul. I got a whole bunch of stickers from the Sticker Store, which is a store that sells lots of stickers. So I wanted to show you what I got because I thought that would be fun. So first thing, we got these letters. They are pink waterproof textured stickers, and they're all letters of the alphabet. I'm probably going to use this. It's kind of hard to see like how pink it is in this lighting, but I'm probably going to use this for my February reading spread in my reading journal. So it's going to be like kind of a pink, maybe like strawberry type theme. And on that similar note, I was probably going to use a couple of these stickers, which are like stickers of cakes, which I also got. And then I got like literally so many individual stickers. I got so many individual stickers. Some of them I thought, some of them I'm like, these are really cute. And then some of these are really silly. So I just couldn't stop grabbing them. So we first got like a little strawberry shortcake. This one is fun. This one I had to get. My partner was like, you have to get this one. It says, I'm a plumber. I solve problem. For all the plumbers out there. And then we've got a Mothman, a couple little tarot cards. This is like the Chariot. This is the Fool with a clown. That one's pretty fun. Here is a cat going through a portal. And these are all going to be going into my reading journal eventually, probably, or whatever kind of, you know, craft I decide to use them with. Okay, so this one requires a little bit of explanation. So these stickers are supposed to be like red flags, you know, like for dating. But when me and my partner first saw this, we didn't recognize that they were red flags. We just saw a flag with this saying on it. So we thought that maybe it was like encouraging people to do this. So it says, eat hot dogs sideways. But apparently that's like that's a red flag if you do that. But we thought this was just like a really weird flag encouraging that behavior, but that is not the case. We still got it anyway. I have this little pig who's drinking beer. I have this bowl of cherries. This one might go in my February spread. I also have this thing that says Team Belly, and I know this is probably supposed to be referencing The Summer I Turned Pretty. I've not read the book, have not seen that series. I truly only got this because I like soft bellies, and it has nothing to do with the character. It has to do with soft bellies being awesome. Then we also have pancakes. We have Spicy Romance Club member. That would be kind of fun on a Kindle or something, but I don't think I'm going to put it there. It's probably going to go in a reading spread. This one, Handpicked Strawberries, I think I'm definitely going to use for the February spread. I got this little cow. It says Year of the Ox, but I'm going to cut that off and just have like a fun little cow sticker because it's really cute. And then I have one of the Loch Ness Monster, one of the Jersey Devil. Here's another cake. It's like a bigger cake. And then this says Tiny Mighty Reader, and I like that he has like a little booty. I think that's really cute. Then I got this little like matcha soft serve cup situation, and then crystals and a snake. So that's my sticker haul. I just wanted to show you guys because I'm very excited about it, and I needed to show you guys before I start putting these all in my sticker journal, which is like my journal that I use to hold my stickers that you can like, it's like wax paper, so you can take the stickers out and use them. It's very handy, but I wanted to show you. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you will enjoy the rest of this vlog. It is very chill, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. Let me know in the comments if you end up reading any sort of monster romances this year or this month, if you've read any Merman romances like I did, if you're going to be joining in on this monster romance reading challenge, or just to say hello and chill and vibe with me. So yeah, without further ado, I think the next thing that I'm going to be going into is some footage that I took of me working on, I believe this is my January spread for my reading journal. So yeah, hope you enjoy that. Whispers here, have no fear. All right, so I wanted to do a little update on my Monster Romance Reading Challenge. So January was read a merman or mermaid or kraken, just kind of like an aquatic monster romance situation. And so I chose Whispers of the Deep. You probably couldn't see me while she was there, but I chose Whispers of the Deep, and I've been reading it on my Kindle for the past couple days. And I had like a couple thoughts. Just wanted to keep you guys updated on like what I'm reading. I wanted to do like a cute little reading vlog for maybe like almost every monster romance book that I read this year. So yeah, Whispers of the Deep is really fucking good. I was not expecting it to be this good. I think a lot of the monster romances that I've read in the past have been like incredibly romance heavy, and a lot of the plot kind of just like falls to the wayside, which like is a part of the appeal of the genre, right? It's just kind of like, you know, a little bit more light, a little bit more fluffy, a little bit less serious. But the plot in this so far has been very good. The setting is really interesting. And there's like a couple of things that I really enjoy about this book already. And I think it's like, okay, there's like maybe 3 things that I've taken away from reading this book so far. I think I may be like 40% into it. I'm waking this up to see. Oh, I'm like actually 50% of the way through this. 50% of the way through this so far. So I'm almost halfway done. So the 3 things that have jumped out at me was, number 1, I don't think I have it in me. I don't think I have what it takes to ever have like a mermaid or a merman, like girlfriend or boyfriend, because all of the scenes where our main character Mira is like, well, the whole premise of the book is she's taken away from like her underwater city where they have like air and like, you know, like safety under the water, and she's taken into like open ocean. And that shit terrifies me so much. Like there were parts where she was like, you know, going down super deep and she couldn't see anything. There was like pressure changes. Like she ended up going into like an underwater cave that had air. But even that is like really scary because like it's cold, it's damp, you don't have fresh water. All you have is fish to eat. So it's just like, it makes me think that I should like read like a horror book that's like set in the ocean. I have a couple of ones on my TBR because I felt so much more scared about all of the stuff that was going on in this book than I think I was supposed to be. Like every single time she was like in the water, like she rips her wetsuit, she loses her flipper, so her like feet are cold. I'm like, girl, you're gonna get hypothermia and you're gonna drown, or you're gonna get crushed by like water pressure. Like it sounds so stressful. So I don't really think I would be able to be like in the open ocean no matter how much I loved my partner. So that was the thing that like jumped out at me the most. I was like, this is kind of scary. So yeah, that was something, but it's an interesting, you know, an interesting aspect to this book. And that's why I think it was a good choice to have the hard mode be like, the setting is underwater, because it changes everything. It makes it a really, interesting dynamic, interesting story, interesting plot. The second thing about this book that I really like and that I was really into is the like idea of like mating rituals and like how attraction can you baby how attraction can be like different between species, and the idea of like, I'm sorry, boob. The idea of accidentally like falling into courtship rituals with a monster of a different species and like how that would build attraction between the both of you. really enjoyed that. That is like a fascinating aspect that I've never really seen in monster romances before, and I'm like, why not? And again, granted, I haven't read like a ton of monster romances, but like the idea of like cultural differences and differences between like attraction and the courtship rituals that like happen. Like there's a certain amount of things that like Argus in this book, The Merman, does that like fall into the courtship rituals of what his species do to like court like a female. And because of that, he starts to feel like all mixed up, and it's like, and it grows this attraction between them, and it's really, really cute and really fun and really interesting, and I really like that. I also like, on a similar note, the focus on the language barrier and trying to like communicate with each other when you have like such a different language barrier. Like he like basically speaks like whale language, and she speaks English. So it's like trying to communicate with each other and learning how to like communicate with each other. Really cute, really interesting, really fascinating, and really fun. And it also leads into like a lot of like really cute and really hot like, you know, like body language moments, or moments where like you don't have like words to like, you know, build this attraction between each other, but it's like really physical. Really good. And then the third thing is I really like the way that the attraction is brought up between Argus and Mira on like almost a gendered level, because one of the reasons why I don't really like a lot of romantasy is because so much of fantasy romance is really like into like the alpha male, like super dominant, like domineering macho man kind of trope or situation. Or if it's not that, it's like the shadow daddy thing. So he's like basically like dark and brooding, but also in an overly masculine and like sometimes toxic way. So I'm not a huge fan of that. But the way that Argus like does these courtship rituals and falls into this like intense attraction to Mira, it puts him almost in like this like really receptive, submissive role at first, because he is like so overcome with his attraction to her that he can't really control it, and he's like obsessed with her, and he wants like to prove that she is his. So it's kind of an interesting play between like dominance and submission, because there are this isn't a spoiler because it's not like plot relevant. I'm just gonna tell it to you anyway because it's not super plot relevant. This is my favorite part of the book. There are like erogenous zones on mermaids or mermen, and it's their gills, right? And the whole like basically that's like foreplay to them, is like, you know, you do these courtship rituals, you do this, you do that, and then if the female accepts you, she will like stroke your gills, and that's like almost sex to them. And so she does that, Mira does that to him, and he turns like so pliant and submissive, and it just like gets him like so just like almost completely out of control with like lust and desire, and it ends up being like kind of this like submissive state that he's in. But while he's in that submissive state, he's like, I need to show her that she's mine. I need to prove to her that that I want to take her, I want to like dominate her. So it's like this interplay between like dominance and submission that I thought was really interesting and really hot, really cool. So yeah, that's what I've liked about it so far. A lot of like romances like don't always really hit with me because I like there to be a little bit more nuance and complications with like power roles and like, you know, power dynamics, because I am like kind of like I'm like a kinkster. Like my sexuality really just is around kink, right? So when it's like, and I'm also queer, so like if something is like really like heterosexual, really like gendered roles, and like a really like clear cut like, instance of like dominance and submission with like dominant males and like dominant males and submissive females versus like actual like realistic chemistry between like real people. The romance never hits for me. But the way that this is like so complex, the way that he's like, falling head over heels for her, while while simultaneously having this duty to like his family and his pod, and like the complications that arises from that. It's really juicy. It's a really juicy, really good book. So I am really enjoying this. I am halfway through. There is a lot of plot things that are finally like developing, and I'm really into this. It's already looking like a 4 or 5 star. If it like, usually the ending is what tells me, like if I have like a very emotional reaction to the ending, usually that's kind of a 5 star. So I will keep you updated. It's looking really good so far. This is like the first monster romance book for this year and for this challenge, and already it's been like a fucking banger. So I'm excited to read more of this and continue in this genre as well. And if things really turn out well, I definitely want to read more from Mira Grant. No, her name is, this is not Mira Grant. That's like a horror writer. Emma Hamm. I definitely want to read more from Emma Hamm. So yeah, I know Emma Hamm has like a book about like trolls, and that sounds interesting. So that's where I'm at right now. Basically for the rest of the day, I'm going to just kind of chill. I have some updates I want to do for my reading journal. I have like what is she doing? My cat. I have a spread that is going to be like anticipated reads, and I wanted to make it kind of like a folk arty sort of vibe. So I think I'll probably have a little bit of footage from the spread that happens there. So that's, I think, what's going to be next in this vlog. I already have printed out all of my like anticipated reads. So I have to like cut these out and put them into like the spread. Some of these I'm making like one half of the page is like backlist TBR. So like books that have already been out for like a year or more, that I've been meaning to read. And then the other page is going to be new, like 2026 new releases that I want to read. So that is my plan for this spread. So I'll probably add a little bit of just like time lapse like stuff as I work on it. I've already picked out, hold on, it's in here. I have like the papers that I want to use for like the accents. And then I have like a couple of like these like washi tape stickers. I have these washi tapes that I want to use. And then I have, this is like the vibe that I'm looking for. This is kind of the vibe. I decided not to use this one because it's like too pink and not red and warm enough. But yeah, I'm looking at like kind of a supernatural, witchy, kind of like folk art vibe. So these are all the stickers I've compiled from this sticker book that I thought fit this vibe. So we'll see if we can fit all of them in there. It's going to be kind of a packed spread. So that's what I'm going to do. I feel like I'm on like winter vacation right now because I haven't been working after the holidays. And once the New Year's rolls around and gets back into like the next week, I have more things to do. But like at the end of the month, usually like if I don't have a ton of work to do, I just kind of chill because in my industry, like a lot of my sales and the money that like the income that I get is like a lot of like passive income. And if people are spending money on the holidays or like rent coming up, then there's really no point in me like putting out content at the end of the month because people aren't going to be buying it and it might like fall to the wayside. People might forget about it. So I'm trying to just wait until the New Year's rolls around like the first week of New Year's before I start kind of getting back into the swing of things with work. So I've just been like chilling. I've been chilling, staying up late and doing my reading journal and reading. So that has been really fun. But yeah, that's all my updates for now. And I hope you enjoyed this update and all of my various reading journal shenanigans to come. So yeah. I am having a fun Monday to myself, mostly because I have to go to the DMV to get an updated real California ID, a California real ID. And I decided, since I'm going to be out, I might as well go to the bookstore. So I'm going to Vroman's, and I'm going to get a couple of books because I have a gift card that I want to spend. So I'm going to take it with me. I have my banana matcha drink, and I have my paranormal podcast, so we are set. Yeah, I honestly have been looking forward to this day, even though there is going to be like the DMV drudgery. I'm hoping that it goes fast because I picked a specific DMV that I've been told is like efficient. And then I get to reward myself with like books because I did a boring thing. So should be fun. I also brought my Kindle just in case it takes a long time. And these pants have giant pockets, so my Kindle is actually in my pocket right now. So yeah, I am going to get everything started. I'm gonna go, and I should be there with plenty of time, which is good for my anxiety. I do have an appointment. The appointment is at 2. It is 12:46, and it will only take me 30 minutes to get there, but this is how I do things. So I wanted to give myself enough time to get a drink, which is actually the most important part of this day, because I love banana matcha drinks. Okay, that's all I have to say. I will see you guys later. I'll show you a little bit of Vroman's. There is also, and I didn't note this, outside of Vroman's somewhere, I think, on the street, they have like an author like walk of fame situation, like on the sidewalk.
and Lee Bardugo's name is on there. So I was thinking I might go try to look and see where the fuck that is. And maybe I'll take some footage of it if I find it. So that's also on the agenda. And then after that, if everything goes well, I'll be coming home and playing Magic the Gathering with friends later this evening. But we shall see if that happens, because my partner's work got like sidetracked today. There's something that they work from home, but like they have like a piece of their equipment not working, so they have to like go a couple hours out to the office to pick something up. So if they're not back home on time, we might not play Magic the Gathering, but we shall see. That's my day today. So yeah, wanted to bring you along with me. So yeah.
Okay, so I only have like 20 minutes left on this SD card, so I'm gonna try to make this kind of quick. But I wanted to do a little haul of the books that I got at Romans, plus like a couple of the books that I've gotten for like Christmas and my birthday and stuff like that. So I thought I'd do a little haul. And then I wanted to go over any sort of like final thoughts about Whispers of the Deep, because I did finish it a couple days ago. When I went to Romans, I got these guys. And then I also have a couple of these guys. Ta-da! Here's my little stack. Let's see. Cute, right? Okay. Let's talk about, before I get into the ones from Romans, let's talk about the stuff that I've gotten for like kind of the holidays. So the first one I got, I was getting some stuff. Basically, I went to Barnes & Noble to get like some like kids books for my nieces and stuff. And I picked up this book. It is I'll Make a Spectacle of You by Beatrice Winifred Eicher. This is a kind of like Southern Gothic, Appalachian Gothic, slightly maybe like dark academia type horror book about this girl who goes to an HBCU and ends up doing her thesis on the local beast that's been kind of around the folklore, surrounding the folklore of this historical college. And yeah, and it's interesting. It's a really interesting book. I read a little bit of it. It's kind of like almost magical realism in a way, because it is in a world where like conjure and like hoodoo are real. I mean, it is real, but like, you know, it's more common, I guess, in this world, in this book, than it is probably in real life. And the charms and everything actually like work on like a magical level. Like she uses a mojo bag to make her dog like basically invisible, you know, or like unseen. So it's like that kind of like world where like magic is real. And it goes in between her in the modern era at this college, and also it switches back and forth between that and a historical retelling of like the founder of this college, and then diary entries of the librarian from this college in the 20s. So this book is really interesting, but I was having a lot of trouble with like the pacing, I guess, and the writing style of it. It just kind of meanders and it takes kind of a long time to get to where it needs to go. Yeah, it took me, I was like on page, I don't know, it some people might like the writing style, like it's not a bad, like the author isn't like a bad writer, it's just, it's very internal monologue, and it takes a while for us to get from like step A to step B to step C on like a plot level, because not only are we switching back and forth between like 3 different narrators, but our main character is so in her head that we get like, you know, a little bit of action of where she's going, tons of like internal monologue and exposition, and then we get like what the character is saying to her, and then more internal monologue. So it's like taking us so many pages for us to get to the main like to get to like the main crux and like the inciting incident of the book. So I started reading this, but it's kind of a DNF for now because I just didn't have the patience. I didn't have the attention span for it, which I'm kind of quick on the draw to DNF books because I always feel like there are better times to read it. Like going forward, I'll always give a book like a second and third chance because I'm like such a mood reader. And if like the writing style is not hitting with the mood, then I usually hit the bricks. So yeah, so that was what I got for myself. And then I got 2 books my friend bought me off of my wish list. This is Daimonic Reality, A Field Guide to the Otherworld. This is basically a like paranormal theory book. Patrick Harper, the author of this book, goes over a bunch of different like paranormal cases ranging from UFOs, Bigfoot, crop circles, apparitions of like the Virgin Mary, fairies, you know, all of that stuff, black dogs, you know, and tries to find a sort of like overarching like theory of the paranormal by connecting all of it together and calling it like the other world. So I've been wanting to read this forever. I'm excited for this. I'm definitely going to read this probably a little bit on and off here and there. That's probably going to be my next like nonfiction read. And then we have The Silver Bridge by Gray Barker. Gray Barker is like one of the first like ufologists like in the field studying UFOs like during, I don't know, like the 50s, maybe 50s, 60s, 70s. But yeah. So this book is basically the story of the Mothman. And I believe Gray Barker was kind of in the area when the Mothman stuff was happening. But this book is a little bit different from the Mothman Prophecies by John Keel, because this is kind of like a fictionalized retelling of the story. John Keel, his book is if you want like the actual facts of the story of everything that was going on at the time. This is just kind of like a weird abstraction little story that Gray Barker made up in his own mind. So it's about like, I don't know, just everything that happened in Point Pleasant, and there's like apparently a little girl who meets the Mothman and they become friends. It's like a much more poetic retelling of the story. So this seems just like a weird little book and a completely different take on like the whole Mothman stuff. So I think this is going to be super fun. I heard Gray Barker was like kind of a crazy weird guy, so I'm excited to see what he comes up with that. So those are the ones that I got before, and these 3 books are what I got from Romans the other day. So I got 2 horror books and a fantasy romance. I got Herculean, which is a book about a trans girl in New York who has moved to New York from Indiana after having kind of like a traumatic like Christian upbringing, and she is haunted by demons, mostly during the night when she is sleeping, but also now she's being kind of followed by demonic forces in her waking life. So she decides to go back to Indiana and live in her ex-girlfriend's all trans girl commune as a way to kind of get away from all of the like, you know, hustle and bustle of New York City, as well as these demons that are like after her. But it is said that something isn't quite right at Herculean, which is the name of this commune. So it looks, and it says, soon what once looked like an escape becomes a trap all its own. So I put this up because I love trans fiction, I love trans horror, I love the idea. I feel like almost every queer person, or at least maybe it's only like a Midwest queer person thing, or I don't know, like a me and my group thing, but like there's always the thing of someone saying like, I just want to build a commune with my friends and have like a little queer utopia and everything will get better. And so I love the idea of this book turning that idea on its head and being like, actually things are probably kind of fucked up there too. So this is very fun. I actually started reading this today and I'm like maybe like 60 pages into it, and it's really good so far. So I'm really enjoying that. Then we have The Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. This has been on my TBR for the longest time. This is a medieval horror book set in a castle that is being besieged by an army, and basically the whole community is stuck in this castle and they're running out of food, they're running out of the water, and the book follows 3 women who are trying to solve the problems of this community. But then all of a sudden these 3 saintly figures come to the door and say that we can solve all your problems and we can create food for you. And so they come on in, and these figures of these saints that they had been worshiping beforehand create food for them, create water, and it turns into this bacchanalia of like hedonism, right? So it's up to these 3 women to figure out what is going on with these magical saints, and if what they're doing is actually as kind and heroic as it seems. And then we have The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. Just look at how pretty this is. This is a fantasy romance set kind of in a historical England. This is a society that is magical and ruled by stories. So basically people in this world our stories come to life, and people born and die and live out these stories that they are fated to live out, and will reincarnate and do these stories over and over and over again. And one of these stories is a story of the witch and the knight, and it's a story of them falling in love, but then ultimately being doomed to die by each other's hand. And so these 2 women, a witch and a knight, find themselves falling into this story and realizing that this story is about them, but wanting to rail against their destiny, what is fated of them, so that their ending doesn't end in tragedy. So so as they seek a way to break the cycle, a mysterious assassin begins targeting tales like theirs to survive. The tool will need to write a story stronger than the one that fate has given them. And I heard that this was like an interesting take on like colonialism, which I'm interested to see how all of that ties in together, as well as having like a fun sapphic romance with a witch and a knight, because I've been really into lady knights recently. So that's also what I got. Those are the books that I got. That's my haul. And I believe like the day after I went to Romans, I ended up finishing Whispers of the Deep, and my update on that was, I think I'm going to give it maybe a 4.5, or maybe like it's more than a 4, but it's not quite a 5. It was really good. I loved the progression of their romance. I loved their dynamic. I loved how obsessed the main character was with, God, now I can't even remember her name. Mira. Her name was Mira. And just everything that happened with how the society ended up, the Mer person society, and the conflict between the Mer people and the humans, I thought was a nice little wrap up. I really enjoyed it. Overall, I thought it was really good. I had expected it to be a little spicier, honestly. I thought it was going to be a little bit spicier, and I think that's maybe because I've read like merman smut books before that was like really super spicy, A Bone in His Teeth being one of them, and there was like 2 good thorough spice scenes in the book, but I expected there to be a little bit more, but it was okay. It was like kind of a slow burn. I enjoyed the progression of the animosity with the kidnapping turning into them trying to figure out how to understand and communicate with each other, and then finally having to figure out how to live a life together as 2 completely different and separate entities, trying to find a common like culture and society that they both fit in. Loved it. Very fun. I do think I'm going to read the second one, but probably not anytime soon, because I just want to read something that is not a monster aquatic romance. And I realized that because right after I read Whispers of the Deep, I got started on Providence Girls, which is an epistolary novel about 2 Lovecraftian heroines. So these are like actual characters from Lovecraft stories, meeting up with each other and falling in love. But at the same time, one of the women is like transforming into like a fish monster. And this edition is gorgeous. I love it. I love that I have this book. This is maybe the 2nd or 3rd time I tried to read this book, and I think it just might not be for me, honestly. I just don't know if it's the author and the writing or if it's like the epistolary format, because it is going a little slow, because they keep going back and forth between like people writing letters to each other. And I am intrigued by the way that these characters are interacting with each other, but I'm afraid that like nothing is going to happen in this book. So I gave it a DNF for now. Like I don't know. I think I was in 50 pages. I need to give maybe like more chances to this book. I need to read probably a little bit more, but I just really wasn't feeling it. And I think after having read a really good Merman romance, that this just wasn't hitting as much as it probably could have. And again, I'm a mood reader, so if the mood isn't there, then it's not going to get read. So yeah, that is what I tried to read. But today I read a little bit of Herculean, which is very good, very much just kind of like a girl tries to make it in the big city with a twist, you know, like it goes very much into the kind of like, you know, I don't know, like everything that is going on as like a trans girl in New York, like people trying to like, you know, be writers, be artists, and then our main character is like losing her job at like this children's clothing store and needs to pay rent, and is just kind of like spiraling and feeling kind of unmoored and hopeless. And when that happens, these demonic entities sort of like slither their way in and start to rattle her mental health. And then I've gotten to the part where she has decided to go to The Commune, and so far it is really interesting. The writing style is really interesting because it's very like what is the word? It's very stream of consciousness, but it's not in a way that is like too meandering. It's just a very interesting look inside, very interesting character study inside of this girl's head. And I'm excited to see her be tormented by more demons. The way that the demons are described in this is very fun and very interesting. And I like the aspect of, you know, kind of going in a little bit deeper with her past as kind of being raised in an evangelical Christian upbringing. So I think that's really interesting. I'm really enjoying this book. I took a little break with it though because my friend, my internet friend, actually has written a novel, and I was talking to her about it, and she asked if I would be down to read like an advanced copy of it before she decides to publish it. And I told her I would be able to help her a little bit with publishing because I've have a little bit of experience with like kind of the ebook publishing for like Kindle and Amazon and stuff. So I'm reading this one. It's like an erotic romance novel set in a college. It's about like a lacrosse player and his tutor, and it's a little bit of a dark romance, a little bit of erotic, a little bit kinky. It's in my kink sphere. That's where I met my friend. And so it's really good so far. I'm probably not going to talk much about it because it's like not even published yet, and it's specifically for my friend, but I am on chapter 10. So 16% in, already really good and already enjoying it. So yeah, honestly, I think this might be the end of the vlog because I don't see myself finishing these books really quickly, and I don't really have much other updates or things to add to it. So I think this is going to be a little bit of a vlog where I mostly talk about Whispers of the Deep. I have a couple little errands that I run here and there. I show you my book haul, but I think I might just kind of end it here. And my next vlog, I'll probably go a little bit more in depth with Herculean and give like a general update on the romance book that I'm reading for my friend. But those are the plans that I'm going to do. I have like a doctor's appointment on Monday, so I might be able to read a little bit at the while I'm waiting in the waiting room. And yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on with me. I'm really glad that you decided to stick around with me if you watched it all the way to the end. I definitely love Whispers of the Deep. Would recommend it, especially if you want to dip your toes into monster romance. I think this is an amazing way to step into the genre. And if you're interested in like queer and trans horror, I am only a little bit into Herculean, but I'm already really liking it. So yeah, I definitely would recommend. And if you made it this far, maybe you could leave me an emoji in the comment section if you have, you know, if you want to show that you watched this far, or if nothing else to say, you want to just like say that you were here. We could do like a little merman emoji. I know that there's like a mermaid and a merman. Let's do the merman emoji. And feel free to share what you guys thought, any books that you're currently reading. And yeah, in general, that's kind of all there is for me. I think I'm going to go read more of my friend's book because I've been eating it up all day long. And yeah, I hope you had a fun time, and I will see you guys in the next video sometime soon. So yeah.